Welcome to Peace, Love and Tarot. This reading is for Virgo. And Virgo, this is your monthly intuitive tarot reading for February 2020. Can you believe it? Second month already. Now I'm going to pull the cards for you on camera. And this process can take 5, 6, 7, 8, even 10 minutes, guys. So I'm going to leave a timestamp in the description of this video. So if you prefer to jump directly to the reading of the cards, you can do, although I'll give a little bit of a commentary as I go. So I just want to call on angels, spirits and guides, and we would like to get the messages that the sign of Virgo collective needs to hear. Now what I'm working with today, guys, is I have the Yogic Path deck from Sahara Rose. I have the beautiful Rebecca Campbell Work Your Light Oracle and the classic Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot deck. So we'll start by pulling an oracle card from the Yogic Path deck. So, angels, spirits and guides, please reveal the message that the collective of Virgo needs to see for February. And guys, you know that the aim is to get one card out of the oracle deck, but sometimes a couple come out. If big stacks come out, we put them back in because that's generally just the energy coming through, but not the card selection. So one card, please. Sometimes they fly out and sometimes there's a bit of resistance. One card, please, for the collective of Virgo. I don't choose the cards, guys, because I believe that it's your energy that's coming through and selecting the cards, so I allow them to fall out, and that's why it can take quite a while. There we go. As we say that, here comes the card. We have Buddha. Beautiful. Okay, we'll be reading that out in full at the end. Some of you might be feeling quite spiritual this month. Okay, realizing that you have the wisdom within. Angel, spirits and guides, can we please have an oracle card from the Work Your Light Oracle deck? The collective, that's too many. I have time for 5. The collective of Virgo, please. February. Wow, they are very energetic today, guys. For the collective of Virgo, please. There we go. Lumera, creating a heaven on earth. It's happening. Some of you might be moving closer to your idea of utopia in February. Okay, let's pull the cards from the Rider-Waite Tarot deck. We are going to first select or ask for, from Spirit, 2 cards for the recent past, please. And we'll see what comes out. It's often not until all the cards are on the table, guys, that we can see the full message that's coming through, although, well, we'll take that. The energies of the individual cards start to reveal themselves. Recent past, 2 of Cups. Some of you may have had highlighted a soulmate or twin flame connection. Something to do with a partnership with somebody. Here's the other one. Oh, Queen of Swords. Gaining clarity and vision in that situation, potentially. Let's go to your current energies. Oh, King of Swords, geez, okay. King of Swords and Queen of Swords next to the 2 of Cups, guys. This is definitely some kind of a relationship or deep connection situation, I think. They're coming out quickly. Oh, 6 of Swords, potentially moving on or moving towards. Okay, can we please have 2 cards for the near future outcome position, please? For the collective of Virgo. Oh, okay, they're coming out quickly. Okay, 10 of Wands. There may be an ending here, guys, or releasing some kind of burden or weight or stress with the situation. Queen of Cups, yeah, becoming more compassionate, getting more emotionally grounded, stable. Can we please have the cards for the advice from the Spirit? A tarot, please, for the collective of Virgo. No major arcana yet, but that's okay. We have the Knight of Wands, swift progress, forward movement. We have one more card, please, got 2. That's okay. We'll take those. Oh, okay. The World and the 5. Yeah, okay. We definitely have completion energy here, guys. At the bottom of the deck, we have the 7 of Swords. There may have been some kind of betrayal in the situation. I'm just going to put the 7 of Swords there. I'm going to grab one more for the Queen of Cups there. Oops. Justice. Yeah. Okay. We do have some big energies after all that, guys. Okay, I'm going to set these up and make them more pretty for you. I'll see you back here in just one moment and we'll read the energies of the cards. Okay, Virgo, welcome back. Let's read the energies of the cards. Just to reiterate what we have here, we have 2 cards for the recent past. We have the 2 of Cups, we have the Queen of Swords. Current energies, we have the King of Swords and the 6 of Swords. We have your near future outcome position, 10 of Wands, Justice, and the Queen of Cups behind there. Advice from Spirit or Tarot. We have the Knight of Wands, the World, and we have the 5 of Wands behind the World, and we had the 7 of Swords at the bottom of the deck. We've also got your Oracle cards, which you're going to come back to at the end of the reading. So, recent past. Yeah, I mean, I'm actually going to go like this, guys, because I feel like it is the way to read this. We have partnership situation here, soulmate energy, highly possibly a relationship, although it doesn't have to be. It can be a very close partnership, could be a close business partnership, creative collaboration, or friendship, but more than likely this is a relationship situation. You know, that 2 of Cups really is that soulmate card. It's you know, that twin flame energy, and you could be dealing with either a Leo, maybe a water sign, or we have air sign energy as well. So water signs would be Scorpio, Cancer, or Pisces. Air signs would be Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. So, you know, we can see here, if we bring in this 7 of Swords that was at the end, the bottom of the deck, that there has been some kind of undercurrent going on in the situation. Now, the 7 of Swords has levels, guys. Yes, it can indicate a betrayal, you know, adultery, something like that. But there's other levels as well. It could be just someone who's been withholding part of themselves from you, maybe not being fully real and authentic. It could be somebody who has been sort of undermining you, treating you, you know, not quite as well as you would like, maybe using cutting words, maybe using some mental strategies like manipulation and that kind of thing. It could be somebody who's also not communicating with you, and you know, sometimes what we don't say is just as important as what we do say. That can be passive aggressive behavior. So there's been something going on behind the scenes that has kind of made this situational partnership seem a little bit off. Yes, there is the potential that there is some kind of you know, being played. You know, if it's a business situation or work situation, it could be someone who is, you know, grooming somebody else for your role or playing you off against each other for a pay rise, promotion, that kind of energy. But, you know, this month in February, you have a very, very strong sense of being able to see truth and clarity, being able to see the situation for what it is. And from that position, you know, Virgo, it's really going to, you know, allow you to be able to see that big picture, so you can decide what you want to do about this situation, whether you want to move on or if you can rectify the situation in some way. Now, we do have the, you know, the 6 of Swords, which is moving on energy. We have, you know, releasing burden, responsibility, and weight energy here with the 10 of Wands, and we've got the World with Justice. It looks like it's coming to an end to me, guys. It's very strong potential for that. I think with these 2 cards here, the King and Queen of Swords, it really is time to put your cards on the table. It is time for clear communication, not leaving any stones unturned and not leaving anything unsaid, because this is the showdown, this is the curtain call, this is your time to say all those things that you may not have communicated, and vice versa for the person that you're dealing with. This is the time. There may not be another one. Yeah, I mean, I think you will be able to, like I said before, see that big picture. You know, and that reflection is going to allow you to connect the dots in the situation, maybe see a pattern of behavior and understand why that pattern of behavior played out. And from that position, you can say, well, is this the kind of a person or situation that I want to attach my energy to? Do I want to pursue this? Do I want to continue this situation? You know, we have 3 characters in this reading holding up swords of victory. You know, this is time for you, Virgo, to find your victory in this situation. However, in this partnership, you know, both characters do have their swords up, so I feel like, you know, both of you and the other party, are both going to be wanting a victory, and that victory may not be aligned. You might be both fighting for what you believe in. You might have opposing opinions of what happened in this situation. You might see things differently. So that can be, you know, cause to butt heads, and maybe, you know, why we have that 5 of Wands, that pettiness, that argumentative energy in the reading as well. You know, either way, rather than using these swords for engaging in battle, you know, for having harsh communications or arguments, we need to make sure that we're using that sword either to establish a victory or to, you know, cut ourselves away, to cut the energetic cause of the situation, to release ourselves. You know, and it's using that insight, guys, that is truly transformational, and that's why we see the butterfly motif on both the King and Queen of Swords. You know, from their eagle-eye perspective, from seeing the big picture, through joining the dots and having that clarity, they can make strategic decisions on what to do with the situation that truly transforms their life. Yeah, it's quite an intense reading, guys. Because also in your current energies, we do have the 6 of Swords. Now, the 6 of Swords is a big energy of moving on. It can be moving away, or it can be moving towards. Now, in this reading, we do see, you know, a moving away from partnership energy and moving towards a justice that is then going to move to a completion. And yeah, that there can be a certain amount of sadness or grief and despair that comes from, you know, having to make a necessary rite of passage like this, Virgo. But sometimes it's just in our best interest, because it's going to take you from, you know, an emotional roller coaster, from choppy waters into peace and calm, to somewhere more stable. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing here. And if possible, you know, we leave all these swords of the past, the harsh words, the hurts, the victim mentality, you know, the inner demons, all of those things. We try and leave them in the past with the situation, not take them in the vessel, so we can carry on with space, with emptiness. Yeah, so some of you, I feel, maybe moving on the situation. Like, you know, we have ending completion energy here, Virgo, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you will take that step. You have free will. And for some of you, you may be able to just end the situation as it currently is, and, you know, make some great changes to rectify the situation. If you do that, I feel that it's like the tower energy. You can't just rebuild the same tower. You can't just patch things up and carry on as you were. Otherwise, you're going to end up in the same situation down the track. And maybe you've invested more time and energy. So you need to make fundamental changes, which can mean going to couples counselling or going to therapy. You know, maybe if it's a workplace situation, actually changing teams. So you're still working together, but you're actually, you know, you're still working in the same organisation and loosely together, but not face to face. It's that kind of energy. Okay, so the outcome. Yeah, well, I don't know where to start. Okay, well, Justice and the 10 of Wands. Yeah, I mean, it's time to bring the situation to a head, that's for sure, because I think the situation has weighed quite heavily on you. I mean, some of you may have had the feeling for a while that there was something going on, you know, just that feeling that sits in your gut that's not validated yet, but you have that sense of knowing. And that can make, you know, be such a burden. It can be such a weight on your shoulders. And I really feel that, you know, you're ready to release that. And, you know, you're going to feel so much lighter and more stable after you've done that. The thing about the 10 of Wands that I always notice about this card too is that, you know, this person is making the journey from home to work or wherever it is, treading that well-worn path, but he's only doing so because he knows the way, because it is that well-worn path. But the vision is clouded here. It's obscured by these wands. So for me, this means that the situation, the energy, the stress, the over-analyzing, maybe the depression, anxiety that's come with it, has actually clouded you from other opportunities. It's held you back from seeing new paths to tread, new beginnings, that kind of thing. Because if this person was to release these wands and put his head up, there might be other ways to, get from work to home. There might be new pathways, but they couldn't see them, because when you're in a situation, you get bogged down by it, you get blinded by it. But at a number 10, it's really, really ready for you to release it. That's the energetic conditions that are around this week, guys, because that joined with justice is just a double whammy, triple whammy with the world here. Justice comes into a reading when a fair and just modification is required to bring those scales of life back into balance. Because the universal balance sheet always adds up, guys. So if someone has been doing a sly one, doing the dirty, then, they will get their karma and the tables will turn. And the energies are vice versa, guys. Hopefully it's you that's in the right. But with justice, it doesn't work out in the favour of the person that wants it to go their way. It works out in the way that it's fair. Yeah, but this is a sense of victory. There's somebody who is ready to face things head on, because, they really want to move into a much more grounded and stable place. And I think that's why the Queen of Cups is in this reading. She is the indicator of those calmer waters, of that peace and harmony that is to come if you can, transmute the situation. She's also a reminder as you go through this completion to try and keep emotionally stable and calm as you go through it, and not try to be reactive and get triggered, because she holds her emotions in this beautiful gilded cup. And she decides when she lets them out, when she processes them. She doesn't let her emotions control her. And she can sit right on the shoreline, dipping a foot into the emotional waters of life, because water in tarot represents our emotional charge. She can actually be in it, in the thick of it, but she's staying grounded, stable, in control, and she's unshakable. Those cliffs around her aren't going to come down. So what it's saying is, when you go through this justice, try and stay in control. Don't get triggered. Try not to react. Come from a place of logic and fact. And it's also an indication to me that you're moving much more into a place of mental stability, emotional stability, after a place where you might have, come from a bit of a rocky roller coaster. What else did I want to say about justice? Yeah, there is a possibility too that there are some legal proceedings with the justice card. Some of you might need to, dig up work contracts, find out what your rights are, rental agreements, home agreements, mortgage papers, divorce papers, even. It's that kind of thing, guys. So there could even be, one of you seeking legal advice also. Might be a good idea just to see what your rights are. Okay, advice from Spirit or Tarot. The World and the Five of Wands. Yeah. Well, guys, the World is the biggest card of completion in the Tarot. It's the final card. It says that you've arrived. It says that a situation is final. It's played out to its full completion, and there's no more in it. So if this was a karmic contract, a karmic connection with somebody, something that needed to be learned, it's saying that has been done and you can release it now. And there's a big life lesson also in knowing when to release rather than holding on. When we do hold on to a situation, this little fly, past its use by date, that's when we can end up in Five of Wands, which is, the energy of pettiness, using our power for the wrong reason, for actually fighting the other person, turning them into an opponent, gossip in the workplace politics, one-upmanship. It's that kind of energy. It's the conflict. It can be internal conflict or it can be external conflict. But, at a number 5 here, 5 is the number of conflict. It's also the number of change. So in order to change that energy from conflict, we need to make a fundamental transition in our life, and we see that here in the cards. So, the advice from tarot is to move on, to jump through that Saturnian hoop like the dancer here, get back into the flow of life and move on into your next chapter. As difficult as it may be, the world says that what the Magician, as the first card in the tarot, set out to will into reality using his intention alone has happened. It's materialized. And now it's time to manifest something else. At one time, this partnership, this relationship could have been something that you dreamed for and manifested and it came to you because there was a karmic connection or a contract or something that needed to be learnt from that. However, once that has played out, guys, we have to know when to release. And that's what the world energy here, that spirit or tarot, is saying. It is time to move on. It's time to shut the door. And when one door closes, another one opens. Knight of Wands. This is progress. This is getting on that horse. And after jumping through that hoop, that horse is waiting, jumping on it and moving forward. Knight of Wands is quick progress. It's re-establishing your passion, enthusiasm and energy for life after a period where you might have felt quite weighed down and may have been a little bit out of energy. We have the little nod to manifestation here with the number 3 sand dunes. So it's saying it's time for you to get onto a new adventure of life, to manifest new partnerships, new situations. It's about getting your passion and purpose back. It can be a passionate offer coming in as well, or discovering something that's going to make you feel the way you always used to. That's the kind of energy here with the Knight of Wands. It can also be rediscovering your sense of spirituality after a time where you might have lost connection with that. Could be a fire sign person coming in as well. So Aries, Leo or Sagittarius. It can also be, a passionate message or communication coming in, because these knights can be communicators, but they're more than anything, they are an indicator of forward movement. And the Knight of Wands, being a fire energy, is fast, swift forward movement after a period of time where you might have been held back. So, as long as, even though there are strong energies here, I really love this because that is very successful at the end. There is strong senses of victory in this reading. So guys, let's go to the oracles. Going to go to Buddha first. It's such a beautiful card. I love the artwork. One who is aware. Well, the Queen of Swords is definitely aware. Buddha is not just one person, but anyone who is an aware and blessed soul. Right now, that is you. You have woken up to your true self and let go of the illusions that were binding you to the material world. You have taken off the mask of security and given a good look into the vastness of your own soul. You have realized that nothing is inherently good or bad, but rather just is. You are understanding the non-dual nature of the world and are letting go of the judgments of the mind. Hold the knowledge that we are all Buddha nature. It just takes remembering. Yeah, some of you might be going through a spiritual awakening as well, or just waking up and having a deeper sense of clarity and vision, and that's why you might realize the situation doesn't align with you anymore. Okay, and our last oracle card to close out the reading, we have Lemuria. Creating heaven on earth. It's happening. Lemuria, or Mu, is one of the earth's lost lands, where heaven really was a place on earth. A time before we were kicked out of the Garden of Eden. In Lemuria, life worked in harmony. All beings were seen as equal, and we were deeply reverent to Mother Earth. We knew that a mosquito was no better than us, and the sun, no worse than us, and the sun no better. Perhaps you too believe that heaven really can be a place on earth. Perhaps you're part of the transition team who at soul level are devoted to creating this kind of harmony on the planet now. Thank you for wanting to do this work. Yeah, I think for me in this reading, this means, guys, that you're actually trying to create your own sense of inner heaven. We have the Buddha card here as well, and that can mean reconnecting with your higher self so that you can unlock your own inner wisdom. And when you're in that state, you start acting in alignment, you start attracting the people and the situations and experiences that are a vibrational match for you. So the situation that you're releasing, that you're letting go of, it may just be that it's no longer a fit for you. And yes, that's sad, but we have to know when it's time to let go, because then we create space for, attracting what really does align for us and really living our best life. So it can be sad to say goodbye, but in the future, we will be greeting someone or something much better. Okay, Virgo, I'm going to leave it there, and I wish you a fantastic February and all the best with this transition. Do keep in mind it's a general reading, so it won't be for every Virgo out there. Feel free to leave me a comment, let me know if it resonated. I'm always interested to hear how it's playing out in your life, and I'll see you back here next month for another reading.